A thin layer of frost clung to the shuttle's viewport as the vessel descended through Alien Prime's atmosphere. Outside stretched a world so impossibly perfect it looked artificial. White spires, floating gardens, crystal lakes reflecting golden skies. Every surface gleamed like polished glass. Rhea Calder sat alone in the last row. Her assigned seat wasn't random. Other cadets had requested distance. She could feel their eyes on her scars, the faint burn marks along her forearms, the thin white slash across her cheekbone. To most of them, scars meant violence, danger, contamination. To her, scars meant survival. The landing thrusters activated with a smooth hum. A voice announced the final descent with gentle melodic tones. Welcome to Alien Prime. Gravity, 0.8 standard. Average temperature, 22 degrees. Wildlife risk, non-existent. Non-existent. That word still felt wrong. Rhea leaned back, feeling gravity lighten against her ribs as the shuttle touched down. The door hissed open, releasing a wave of warm, perfumed air. The academy was visible beyond the landing pad. Sleek towers intertwined with waterfalls and bridges spun from living vines, suspended like threads of glass. She stepped out, combat boots striking alien marble. The moment she appeared, silence rippled through the gathering students. Whispers followed. Look, human. No, the human. Those marks. Are they real? Rhea didn't look at them. She was used to stares. Earth, Deathworld Class 5, was infamous. The galaxy ranked planets by survivability. Most civilized species lived on Class 1 or 2 worlds, mild climates, no predators. Earth was one of only 2 known Class 5 worlds, and Rhea had grown up outside the safe zones. She adjusted the worn strap of her duffel bag and walked, back straight, steps steady. Light gravity made every movement feel too easy. Her muscles expected more resistance, more weight, more threat. Her balance felt off, like she was floating. Her boots clicked against polished tiles. Her scars shone under the bright sun. A voice broke the hush. You must be Rhea Calder. She turned. A tall alien stepped forward, elegant and almost painfully perfect. Skin like bronze, hair silver white, eyes a pale, luminous violet. His uniform bore the crest of the Primaris Academy, a 4-pointed star surrounded by orbiting rings. 2 students flanked him, both radiating smug superiority. He offered a slow, condescending smile. I am Vali Sarkir, top of this year's diplomatic class. Until today, apparently, Rhea observed him for a beat. His posture, the placement of his feet, angle turned slightly outward, designed to assert dominance. His eyes scanned her scars openly, as if she were a specimen. She didn't speak. Silence unnerved arrogant people. Velisar leaned closer, lowering his voice. Everyone wonders the same thing. Did you carve those marks onto yourself? Or did your planet do it for you? A few nearby cadets snickered. Rhea met his gaze, unreadable. Earth leaves souvenirs, she said evenly. His smile wavered, just a fraction. A new voice cut through the tension. Cadets, attention! Instructor Mara stepped onto a platform overlooking the courtyard. Her uniform was distinctly functional. Simple lines, durable fabric. Unlike the students, she carried the exhaustion of someone who had seen real conflict. She scanned the crowd. You are here because you represent the highest intellectual and political potential of your species. Your first trial begins now, a holographic map projected behind her. Sectors, terrains, climate conditions. Rhea focused. The map wasn't theoretical, it was a simulation of real environments. Mara continued. The Galactic Survival Trial will determine your placement in the Academy hierarchy. You may choose your teammates. Immediately, cadets turned toward one another, names exchanged quickly. Team with me. Let's pair up. I need someone with strategy experience. Rhea waited. No one approached, not even close. The group subtly shifted away, creating an empty circle around her. Almost comical, like instinct pulled them back. She could smell their fear. Not logic, instinct. Deathworlders triggered something primal. Rhea stood, arms loose at her sides. She didn't ask for a partner. Instructor Mara made a note on her lens tablet. Rhea saw the faint raise of her brow, surprise but not pity. Velisar smirked and lifted his chin. "You appear to be undesirable merchandise, Deathworlder." Rhea's jaw tightened, but only slightly. "I didn't realize teamwork meant begging," she replied quietly. A ripple passed through the cadets, shock then stifled laughter. Velisar's eyes narrowed. "Diplomacy requires cooperation. Something your kind lacks." Rhea held his gaze. "Strength isn't proven by hiding behind a crowd." For a moment, just a moment, she saw a flicker of something behind Velisar's expression. Irritation. His facade cracked. Instructor Mara raised a hand. Silence returned with military precision. "Survival trial begins in 3 hours. Report to Simulation Wing for briefing." Students dispersed in a rush of excitement. Rhea remained still. She could feel gravity tugging too softly. Her body felt wrong, too light. It took effort to breathe slowly and not overcompensate. Her fingers twitched, not from fear, but from memory, a different jungle, a different trial, flash. She was 12 again, running through tangled vines, rain pouring in thick sheets. A shadow leapt from the foliage, wolf-like, teeth flashing. She didn't think. She threw herself between the predator and the small child behind her, her sister, using a rusted metal bar as a wedge. Claws tore her face. Teeth ripped her shoulder. She held on. She survived, flash. Back in the present, Rhea exhaled once. Slow. She walked away from the courtyard. As she crossed a bridge of transparent crystal, she heard murmurs from below. "Why did the Academy pick her? She comes from a world where everything kills you." She looks dangerous. She is dangerous. The bridge overlooked the ocean, a mirror of liquid silver. Alien Prime was so safe the Academy didn't use railings. Falling into the water had zero risk. Rhea paused, watching the waves. She whispered to herself, "I don't want to be dangerous," but Earth had shaped her into someone who could walk alone through fear and not tremble. Someone who never begged. She reached the simulation. Wing entrance, a massive arch of shifting holographic code. 4 guards stood alert. The air vibrated with active energy fields. A technician scanned her chip. "Human cadet Rhea Calder. Class assigned, solo." She nodded, accepting it without comment. The technician stared at her scars, eyes lingering too long. You've survived a lot." Her expression remained neutral. Surviving is what humans do best. When she entered the prep chamber, a voice echoed over the intercom. "Cadets, prepare to face the unknown." Rhea flexed her hands, rolling her shoulders. Muscles built under crushing gravity, forged by brutality of environment and necessity, felt suddenly restless. She wasn't afraid of the unknown. The unknown should be afraid of her. Rhea stood at the threshold of the simulation gate. Above her, the words glowed. Deathworld condition. Optional selection. She selected it without hesitation. Behind the observation glass, Velisar watched her choice with widening eyes. He smirked, but his voice cracked slightly. "When she breaks, they'll ban humans forever." Rhea spoke softly, so soft that the microphone barely caught it. "Deathworlders don't break." The gate opened. Light swallowed her. The world materialized around her in an instant. One heartbeat, she stood inside a sterile chamber of polished metal and holographic lights. The next, she stood inside a dense, alien wildland. Humidity hit her first, heavy and damp against her skin. The air smelled of wet soil and something sharp, ozone. Vines hung from towering trees, each trunk thicker than industrial columns. Shadows moved above her, branches swaying without wind. No welcome message. No countdown. Just a world that felt alive. Rhea inhaled. The oxygen level was richer than Earth's. Too clean, too pure. Her lungs adjusted, expanding slightly wider than usual. She crouched and placed her hand on the soil, warm, pulsing gently like a heartbeat. A voice came over the PA system, cold and mechanical. Galactic survival trial initiated. Objective, reach the beacon. Simple enough on paper. In practice, survival trials never stayed simple. A chime pinged from her wristband. A holographic map flared to life. Rhea studied it quickly. Symbol markers indicated cliffs, water, and something nondescript marked zone hazard, apex presence detected. She straightened, scanning the immediate area. Bird analogs screeched overhead, thin shapes, too many joints in their wings. A blur of motion slithered under thick leaves. Everything shifted like it was deciding whether she belonged. Her heartbeat stayed slow. Movement caught her eye. 3 alien cadets stood 50 meters away in a clearing, blue-skinned, wearing advanced exosuits, weapons glowing faintly. The moment they noticed her, panic spread across their faces. "No, no, no, don't come near us!" The tallest one held up his hands as if warding off infection. "Deathworld girl, stay back!" He wasn't being cruel. He was terrified. Rhea paused, assessing them like she would any unknown threat. But they weren't threats. They were prey. The forest snapped a thick branch behind them. They didn't notice. Rhea did. "Move," she warned calmly. Now, they didn't listen. Fear of her outweighed common sense. The ground trembled. Leaves exploded upward as something burst out of the foliage, a predator shaped like a mantis mixed with a panther. Its body rippled with obsidian plates, claws sharp enough to shear metal. The aliens froze. Rhea didn't. She sprinted toward them, boots silent on the soft terrain. In lower gravity, her stride felt effortless, her muscles firing with precision. One cadet stumbled back. Why isn't she running away? Because running hadn't kept her alive on Earth. She reached the group just as the predator lunged. In one motion, she grabbed a loose vine, wrapped it around the creature's foreleg, and yanked. Momentum did the rest. The beast's body slammed sideways into a tree, bark splintering. The aliens stared at her like she defied physics. Rhea stepped toward the creature before they could ask questions. The beast recovered, mandibles clicking in agitation. It pounced. She ducked and drove her elbow upward beneath its throat. Armor plating cracked. The beast screeched and stumbled back, dazed. One alien gasped. How did you know where to hit? Rhea wiped dirt from her cheek. Anything with a spine has a weakness where it bends. She turned away, already scanning their surroundings again. The beast retreated, melting back into the undergrowth. The 3 cadets finally seemed to realize the threat had passed. You saved us. Rhea didn't answer. She didn't want gratitude. She wanted to reach the beacon, finish this trial, and prove humans belonged here. The forest shifted again. Leaves rustled, too rhythmic to be random. She motioned for silence. One cadet whispered anyway. Why aren't you scared? Her eyes never left the tree line. Fear wastes oxygen. Their jaws slackened. Something wasn't right. The wildlife wasn't moving naturally. It wasn't hunting. It was circling. Someone is pushing the simulation. She glanced at the distant observation tower, just barely visible through the treetops. Behind the glass, she imagined Velisar smiling. She pulled a small device from her belt, standard issue field knife. Aliens only use these for emergencies. Humans called them multi-purpose tools. She sliced open a nearby plant. It oozed orange sap that smoked on contact with air. Useful. Chemical reaction meant combustion. She coated the blade. Follow me if you want to live. The cadets didn't question her authority anymore. They moved through the jungle, careful to step where she stepped. Branches whipped their legs. The air buzzed with distant clicking noises. The clicking grew louder. One of the cadets whispered, voice trembling. What is that sound? Rhea crouched behind a fallen tree. Pack hunters, just like the predators on Earth. Movement rippled through the foliage, small shadows darting back and forth. Creatures with too many legs and eyes like polished glass. The aliens began shaking. Rhea didn't speak. She watched, waiting. When the first creature leapt over the log toward them, Rhea moved, not with hesitation but with cold clarity. She twisted, grabbed it mid-air by the mandible and slammed it into the ground, driving her knife between the plates beneath its jaw. Orange sap ignited, sharp flare, instant combustion. The creature writhed once, then went still. Two more jumped over the log. She tore free her blade and stood. "Stay behind me." Her tone left no room for argument. The cadets obeyed. Rhea fought with precision, not brute force, each movement efficient. A parry to avoid claws, a strike at joints. No wasted energy, no wasted motion. When the final beast fell, the clearing smelled of sap and burning chitin. Rhea wiped her blade clean on moss. A shaky voice broke the silence. "How are you alive?" "Practice." They stared at her like that single word carried its own horror. Rhea continued walking. They followed. Minutes stretched into an hour. The terrain grew harsher, steeper cliffs, roots thick as cables, sunlight dimming under the canopy. Strange luminescent insects drifted near her face. She caught one gently, inspected its wings, and released it unharmed. The aliens watched, confused. "You're studying the ecosystem? Understanding the environment keeps you alive," the tallest cadet swallowed. "Velasar said humans are reckless." Rhea didn't look back. "Velasar has never survived anything." They reached a cliff overlooking a deep ravine. Mist rose from the drop. Across the chasm, a pillar of blue light shone. The beacon, almost there. Another tremor shook the ground. No, not a tremor. Footsteps. Heavy, deliberate, approaching. Rhea turned slowly. The apex predator stepped into view, towering, armor plates flexing, mandibles dripping venom. Its eyes locked on her. Velasar's voice echoed through hidden speakers. "Impressive so far, human. Let's see how long you last." He had overridden the simulation. This wasn't a learning trial, it was a kill scenario. The cadets panicked. "We're dead, we can't outrun that." Rhea stepped forward, placing herself between them and the monster. Her voice stayed steady. "You won't have to." The predator lowered its head to charge. Rhea rotated her knife in her grip, already calculating angle, force, momentum. "It bleeds," she murmured. She met the creature's eyes. "Then it dies." The beast lunged. Rhea moved to meet it. The apex predator launched from the rocks like a fired spear, jaws wide, mandibles glowing with venom. Rhea didn't retreat. She sprinted toward the monster. The cadets behind her screamed her name, but their voices blurred into background noise. All her senses narrowed into a single razor-sharp line of focus. Weight, speed, distance. She dropped low at the last instant, sliding beneath the creature's body as its claws raked the air above her. Her blade flashed once. She sliced through. The soft gap between its armor plates where she had struck earlier. The beast roared, crashing into a tree and splintering it. She rolled to her feet, breath steady. The alien cadets stared in disbelief. "You stabbed it deliberately in the exact same spot." Rhea didn't answer. She analyzed the terrain. Behind her, a cliff. To her right, loose gravel. Ahead, the beacon. To her left, the predator, bleeding, but still powerful. She switched her grip on the blade, snapped the sap-coated vines off her wrist, and waited. The beast turned its massive head, hissing. Its gaze locked on the wounded area. Instinct told it Rhea was now the bigger threat than the group behind her. It lunged again. She sprinted, drawing it away from the cadets. Her boots hammered the ground, dirt and debris flying. The terrain forced the creature's weight off balance as it chased her across the slanted rock. She stopped at the edge of the cliff. Wind howled in the ravine below, echoing like a cavernous throat. The beacon pulsed on the other side, unreachable by foot. The predator charged from behind, gaining speed. Rhea faced the drop. One breath. She pivoted sharply, using the monster's weight and momentum against it. She slammed both hands onto its snout, redirected its movement, and flipped over its head, vaulting sideways as the beast toppled over the cliff. It didn't fall. It clung to the cliffside with desperate claws and hauled itself back up, snarling, furious. Its hide steamed where her sap-coated blade had struck. Velasar's voice crackled through hidden speakers. "You can't win. Quit while you have some dignity left." Rhea wiped sweat from her brow. Quitters don't get scars. The beast charged again, claws tearing deep furrows into the rock. She sprinted toward the ravine, heart pounding. She grabbed a low branch hanging over the edge, yanked it down, and snapped it free. Sap leaked from the break, phosphorescent, reacting to oxygen with a soft glow. Perfect fuel. The predator jumped. Rhea lit the sap-soaked branch against a rock that sparked, a naturally occurring flint deposit. Fire burst down the length of the branch. She swung. The burning wood struck the predator's damaged neck. It shrieked and reeled, losing balance. For one suspended second, it hung there, claws scraping stone, mandibles dripping venom, before gravity claimed its weight. It fell into the ravine. Silence dropped with it. Rhea tossed the burning branch aside. Behind her, the cadets exhaled in shaky relief. One whispered, "You killed the apex." Her eyes remained on the ravine. No. The fall did. She turned to leave, but a new voice boomed through the speakers. Sharp, furious. Velasar. Simulation override. Terrain shift. The ground beneath her trembled and split. The platform she stood on sank, converting into a rotating bridge leading toward the beacon. But halfway across, the surface became slick. Too slick. He's making it harder. He wants a mistake. Rhea started forward anyway. The cadets followed cautiously until the walkway narrowed into a single beam. Halfway across, a panel under Rhea's boot shifted. Her foot slipped. She dropped, fast, catching the edge with one hand. The beam vibrated with movement. Her grip tightened. A face appeared above her. Velasar, smiling down from an upper platform, hands clasped behind his back. He addressed her like she was a lab specimen. It must be exhausting. Pretending that scars are strength. His voice dripped superiority. Tell me, did you earn them through violence or through stupidity? Rhea pulled upward, muscles straining as she climbed back onto the beam. Her voice was low. Through survival, she continued forward. Velasar's smirk wavered. He wasn't used to defiance. The beacon platform was close now, only 20 feet away. Rhea walked toward it, boots steady on the narrow beam. Velasar. Teleported down using a personal device, illegal in simulations, and blocked her path. He drew a weapon from his belt, a pulse blade, short, curved, crackling with plasma. Gasps echoed from the cadets still watching. Weapons are forbidden. Velasar ignored them. You don't belong here. Rhea assessed the blade, distance, his stance. His posture was rigid, too rigid. Perfect form, no experience. You rigged the simulation, she said. You removed safety parameters. Someone had to protect the Academy from Earth trash. She approached him slowly. Is this what you call protection? Tampering with a trial to kill a student? His eyes flashed. Humanity is a danger to the galaxy. Her grip tightened around her small knife. A danger, she echoed. Or a mirror. He lunged. She sidestepped the swing, caught his wrist, twisted it, and sent the plasma blade skidding across the platform. He stumbled, unbalanced, reaching for her throat. She ducked and swept his feet from under him. He fell hard. Rhea didn't strike again. She stood over him, silent. Velasar reached for the edge of the platform. It crumbled. He slid toward the drop. His voice cracked, raw fear replacing arrogance. Help me! The fall wouldn't kill him immediately. The ravine would. Slow. Rhea could let go. She remembered the cadets who avoided her in the courtyard. The mockery. The fear. She remembered. Her sister's tiny hands gripping her shirt in the ruins of old Chicago. She reached down and seized Velasar's wrist. He stared at her, stunned. Why? Rhea pulled him up, locking eyes with him. Because I survive without cruelty. She released his wrist. He had no words. The cadets on the other side stood frozen. Their expressions, shame, awe, realization, made something shift in the air. The beacon pulsed. The simulation dissolved around them. They stood once more in the Academy arena. The head counselor descended from the observation booth. Rhea Calder, you passed the trial, alone, and saved others. She faced the crowd. Her scars glowed under the white lights. Not ugly, not frightening. Proof. These marks aren't symbols of pain, she said. They are proof that I lived. Her voice carried across the arena. Strength isn't comfort. Strength is what survives without becoming the monster that tried to kill you. Velisar dropped to one knee, not out of respect, but out of recognition. Human, forgive me. Rhea's expression didn't soften. Stand. Strength isn't about kneeling. The arena erupted with applause, not polite, not hesitant, full, real. The first roar of acceptance humans had received on Alien Prime. Rhea stepped off the platform, head high, scars unhidden. The galaxy finally understood. Humans didn't dominate planets because they were ruthless. Humans dominated because they endured. The arena emptied slowly after the simulation, but the noise remained, echoes of applause bouncing off steel and glass. Rhea stood on the platform alone now, pulse finally slowing. The adrenaline had faded. In its absence, her body trembled, just slightly, not from fear, from release. Surviving was easy. Being seen was hard. She exhaled, shoulders lowering. For the first time since she had arrived, no one stared at her scars like she was a biological hazard. A door hissed open behind her. Instructor Mara stepped out, her posture crisp yet softened by something like approval. She approached with deliberate steps, boots striking the floor with confidence instead of threat. Cadet Calder, Mara began. You changed the academy today. Rhea didn't respond. Compliments did not compute. They were rarer than oxygen during blackout storms on Earth. Mara studied her quietly. You saved the cadets. You even saved Velisar, a boy who spent weeks trying to humiliate you. Rhea kept her tone level. I didn't save him. I saved myself from becoming what he expected. Mara's expression flickered with understanding. She pressed a small device into Rhea's hand, a data pad. Official seal of the Galactic Council engraved on the casing. Open it when you're ready. Then she turned and left without another word. Rhea entered the Academy infirmary. The scent of antiseptic replaced the wild tang of the simulation. Holographic med beds lined the walls, machines hovering over sleeping cadets, some wounded in the trial, others simply exhausted. Velisar sat on the far bed, hands clasped, head bowed. He didn't notice her approach until her shadow stretched across the floor. His shoulders stiffened. He slowly lifted his gaze. His usual arrogance was gone. I expected you to come gloat. Rhea pulled a chair forward, sitting in it backward, arms crossed atop the backrest. Why would I? He blinked. The idea genuinely puzzled him. Because you won. I won a trial, not a war. His throat tightened. He stared down at his palms, fingers digging into his own skin. I thought humans were... He hesitated, then spoke the word like it weighed 1,000 tons. Monsters, Rhea answered without hesitation. Some humans are. He glanced up sharply. But you chose otherwise, she finished. That's all strength really is. Silence stretched, raw and uncomfortable. Velisar swallowed hard. You should hate me. Do you want me to? He didn't answer. His voice cracked. Why didn't you let me fall? Rhea leaned back, steady and sure. Because mercy is power, his breath hitched. No rebuttal, no snide remarks. Just a boy realizing what true strength looked like. Rhea stood and walked toward the exit. Velisar called after her, voice low. Rhea, thank you, she paused. Earn it, then left. Outside, dusk settled over Alien Prime. The planet shifted from perfection to spectacle, purple sky bleeding into a luminous horizon. Floating gardens glowed with bioluminescent vines. The campus was quiet, but alive with distant laughter and footsteps. Rhea sat on one of the open-air terraces, legs dangling off the edge. The low-gravity wind toyed with her hair. She finally activated the datapad Mara had given her. A message appeared. Classified, from Galactic Council. Subject, Earth, Reclassification. Hearing, her stomach tightened. A vote has been scheduled to determine whether Earth retains independent planetary status within the Council. Your performance in the trial triggered this hearing. Below it, a line of text blinked in red. Your testimony is required. She read the final sentence 3 times. If the Council is unconvinced, Earth will be placed under protective supervision, losing all autonomy. That polite phrase was just a diplomatic mask for occupation. Her scars pulsed with heat beneath her skin. Phantom memories returning. Dark alleys, rain hitting rusted rooftops. Her sister asleep against her arm while she listened to distant gunfire. Earth had shaped her. Earth had scarred her. Earth had taught her to fight back. A quiet voice startled her. You don't have to face them alone. It was one of the cadets from the trial. The smallest of the trio, eyes wide but no longer fearful. He hesitated, holding out a sleek black badge. We asked the Academy to assign us to your team. Permanently, Rhea blinked. Why? The cadet inhaled like gathering courage. Because you didn't treat us like burdens. You protected us without asking anything in return. The other 2 cadets appeared behind him, nodding. Rhea stared at the badges. Partnership meant vulnerability. Partnership meant trust. On Earth, trust got you killed. Still, something inside her shifted. A realization. Surviving alone was necessity, not destiny. She accepted the badges. You'd better keep up. Relief flooded their faces. They sat beside her on the terrace, watching the sky. One cadet broke the silence. You aren't like the stories, Rhea smirked. Neither is Earth. Later that night, she returned to her quarters. The room was simple, too simple. No rust, no cracks, no sound of distant chaos. She washed her face in cold water, and for a moment, she met her own reflection. Scars catching the light. Not ugly, not brutal, just lived in, she whispered to her reflection. Scars don't mean broken. They mean I survived places others couldn't imagine. Her compad chimed. Incoming transmission, unknown source. The screen blinked on, a trembling voice, young and familiar. Rhea? Her breath caught. Her sister. Standing in a dim hallway, face smudged with soot, blanket wrapped around her shoulders. The council ships arrived. They say Earth has been secured. Rhea's pulse stopped. Secured how? They're emptying cities and putting people into zones. Mom said I should call you? A flashback slammed into her chest. Gunfire, cold rain. Her sister crying, her arms around a shaking child. She steadied her voice. Listen to me. Stay with Mom, stay inside. Don't go near the ships. Her sister nodded, eyes huge with fear. Will you come home? Rhea didn't breathe for a second. She swallowed. I'll bring the galaxy with me if I have to. The screen went dark. Rhea stood completely still, grief and fury twisting in her chest. She turned toward the window. The Academy glowed below her like a jewel. Somewhere beyond those lights, powerful beings debated whether her world deserved freedom. Her scarred reflection stared back, unflinching. She reached for her uniform, fastening each piece with precise movement. Tomorrow, she would stand in a chamber of elites. She would speak not as a cadet, but as the human who had survived the worst planet in the galaxy. She left her room, footsteps firm, jaw set. The galaxy was about to learn. Humans don't ask for permission. They fight for what's theirs, and Rhea Calder was done surviving. It was time to win.